Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, unfortunately for you guys, this is going to be a more of a gentleman type video. Now, you women are welcome, but I got a feeling a lot of you are not going to be very appreciative on what I'm going to say here because it pertains to you ladies and how men had to deal with a lot of stuff that is pertaining to men. So, without further ado, let's get directly into this. Now, we have here the feminists of Laura Ingraham and ultra-feminist Tommy Lauren. Because these people seem to think that, oh, it's bad for these men, it's bad for this stuff, like, etc., etc. And I have a hard news to break for you. It's not the fact that, that men are hating women or men are being stay-at-home sons or whatever. No, it has nothing to do with that. It has more along the lines of where our economy is, how bad things have been for us even getting to these places. But of course, men are the problem, and it is not the women that are. And this is where you see the true feminist comes through here. So without further ado, my friends, let's get into this.
It's a major problem. And Speaker Johnson has been talking about those maybe deadbeat folks that are on Medicaid, and maybe some of those folks are the stay-at-home sons. We don't know. But I'll tell you this, leave it to Gen Z to rebrand laziness and social awkwardness as something cutesy, like a stay-at-home son.
I'm going to let you know right now that a lot of the friends, which a lot of my friends are typically younger than me, and I'm going to let you know right now that a lot of these people are not stay-at-home sons, but they are more along the lines of, working hard. I want you to let you know the only reason why half of my friends even have houses at all, mind you, is because they were gifted those houses due to one of their relatives passing away. It is not to them being able to purchase a house. Tommy Lauren, I don't know about you, but it seems like you're a very rich girl, right? You're married to a rich man, which does baseball. So you being able to purchase a house is not much of an issue. But majority of the rest of this country, you stupid twat, can't afford a house, can't get a house. So it's not that their fault that they had to stay with their parents or what have you, because they don't have much of a choice. I have a relative that has to stay with their parents because him purchasing a house is very difficult. It is not easy to just purchase a house, okay? It is not one of those things that you can just go and do on a whim. That you have to prepare for this. It's like, I don't know about you, but you're like it's a huge problem here, right? And trying to shame men and say that, like, oh, well, it's the men's fault. It's the men's fault. They're not the same with sons. They're the problem. No, you ladies are the problem. It's like every single time when it comes down to anything men related, it is always feminists like you, Tommy Lauren, that is shaming and bringing down men. And it's just so sickening that it's frustrating. I've been wanting to do this video for a past few days now, and I finally got to do it. And I'm glad that we could just shine the light on these chameleons, right? These technically feminists that are trying to pose as Republican, even though they're not. And this is just going to show that even if you go and find a Republican female, right, they're also feminists. So there's no reason to get along with these people because they're just all bloody terrible. And not only that, the majority of women vote Democrat. So if the majority of men go for are mostly leaning towards the Republican side, they have to deal with lunatics like you, Tommy Lauren, that are going to go out and blame men. So I don't know about you, but this is not a stay-at-home sons problem. It's not as easy to go and get a house or a very nice house. And not only that, the average, if you go look on any of what these females want for a typical average salary, right? A lot of these women want like $100K plus, $200K. It's absurd amount of money for these men to actually have to make in order for them even to be somewhat interested in them. I don't know what you're doing here. This is just all stupid.
Did much the same thing with quiet quitting, where you can go to work and do less, and if you call it quiet quitting, it's somehow better. But Laura, I got to tell you, this is also a big
Again, Tommy, that is not what a lot of men are doing. They're not doing quite quitting. The problem is that it takes a very long time to get yourself have a foothold on what's been going on. Right? It takes a while for this to start happening. You just don't build this money quickly, and it takes up at least 30 years of a man's life to even build some type of anything at all. So you're saying
Big problem when it comes to, I think, declining birth rates, people not getting married and having children. You know, that's a big problem. They blame it on women. Well, look at what young women have to choose from. The pickings are slim.
Oh, yes, Tommy Lauren. It's because of what the women have to choose from. Okay, how about here's a news flash for you. I actually have a conversation with a friend of mine not too long about where we're saying, what have women done in the past 59 years since the 1970s with the sexual revolution? What have they done exactly? They haven't really done anything. Instead, we produce stupid feminist women like you and go blame out men for all the problems. Okay, well, first off, let's go look at the gyms. If we go look at the gyms here, we end up finding out that majority of the reason why that there's the whole thing to where women will take their cameras and try to get men fired or removed from the gyms and make a grave accusation and get them removed from the gyms. Women have infiltrated gyms and pretty much made it to a point to where men are just going to be accused for something if they look their way slightly because they're posting it for TikTok. Then we have that. We had it where we have so many women where they're going out and saying, "Oh, I choose the bear over the men." Or how about the women wanting horribly able standards, where it's the 666 six-figure salary, 6 feet tall, and and all these other crazy things that are completely insanity to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. And this is one thing. And another thing, too, is that the average age of women getting married in this day and age are 28.4 years old. That's the average, where the median age for men is 30.2 years old. So, yes, the point being is that men just do not get married until at least 30. That's at least. And women don't get married until 28.4. Well, let me tell you something, Tommy Lauren, which you don't have, by the way. This woman here, Tommy Lauren, is 32 years old, and she has no kids. Tommy Lauren has no children. She is married to John Michael Rizzio, who she married on October 22nd. So she has only been married for 3 years. And who is John Michael Rizzio? Oh, well, this guy here is a baseball player. He's a baseball player. So obviously, when you go out and look at her husband, he makes how much money? How much money does this guy actually make here? So let's just do this. Income. Baseball player. So his contract, for what I'm getting here, is $1.7 million. How many men make $1.7 million a year? If we're talking about this as the correct Rizzio, right? So again, you were married to a rich person. So you, with your standards, where it is the same thing with every other female, where their salary or their intake for the man that needs is insanely high, you fit in this category here. So you're already doing this. And what's hilarious here is that Laura Ingraham she's never been married either. So you have two feminist non-married women. I said one's married, one's to have children, which her eggs are running out, which goes back to saying this here, where the average woman is 28.4 years old. Well, guess what? You have a max of 3 years till 90% of women's eggs are all dried up, and it's becoming hard to become pregnant. You got to start using IVF and all this other stuff to become pregnant. So again, if the average age is 28.4, why does a man want to marry a woman that is 28 years old and is close to not being able to have kids because she's 2 years out from losing 90% of her eggs? And relationships take time. You gotta build the relationship and stuff like that. And women are on a biological clock. So why would you want to go and marry a woman at this age? Just a perfectly good example. When a man's life really begins, as I said here, age 30. So what are we doing here, Tommy Lauren? There are so many problems. And also, men don't want to get married because we have where the courts are biased towards men. The divorce rate for women is around 70%, where 70% of the women initiate the divorce. You have to pay alimony. You have to worry about you have to worry about getting divorced and losing half your stuff. Women mostly get the kids, and you don't ever get to see your kids again. Like, there are so many problems and reasons onto why men do not want to get married or does not want to be in relationships because the way the court system and marriage works in the modern society. It is not worth it for men to get married. Now, do I have friends that are married? Well, yes, I have 2 that are married. No, take that 3. But the point being is they all recently married, and one is not officially married per se. So therefore, they're not even really fiancé. They call themselves married, but they're not really married. But that's beside the point, right? Like, the point being here is that men are not getting married because they just don't want to get effed over, right? That's just the way it is. So, Tommy, you're just an idiot.
Yes, we might have a feminism problem in America, but it's the feminization of men. There are a lot of young women out there that want to get married. They want to have kids. They want to have stable families. But there are a lot of young men out there who want to live in mama's basement in order.
No, because again, what feminism has done is that feminism has told women, go to college, go waste up all your fertility years, don't go seek a family, don't go be in the home, and go and waste all your fertility years in a job office that you're most likely going to hate, that you're not going to like, that you're going to be miserable, and then when you finally have the chance to go settle down and get a family, all your fertility years are gone, and then you don't have time to get kids. So I don't know about you, but that's what feminism has taught women. Women should always go out and seek relationships first, and then focus on their career. Focus on what's next. It should be finding a family first, having kids, raising those kids, and then career last. I'm not saying that women can't go out and go get a job. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there should be priorities in a woman's life that should take precedent over other things. That's what I'm saying. And if women want to go and get a job and waste all their fertility years, by all means, let them go do that. That's their choice. But the problem is that women are choosing careers instead of their life, instead of actually having kids. And you, Tommy Lauren, are the feminists for doing this. That's the insane part here. That's what we're doing here. I can't stand women like this because women just straight up completely lie on the basis of everything, and they're always saying, oh, let's blame men. Men are the problem. They're the issue. Well, no, they're not really, because again, at the same time, women are the ones that are dictating relationships. They're the ones that say yes. They're the ones that say yes to marriage, and then they have full power when it comes down to in the courts. So, lady, how about you get off your high horse? How about you stop being a swimy bitch that you are and a feminist and get the hell out? Because you have no idea. You haven't talked to current men. You haven't realized on what they have gone through. I know plenty of friends have been cheated on, etc., by women that are bloody psychopaths, and it's just not a good in dating market here. And you have terrible women like Tommy Lauren saying this. It's asinine here. So again, and let's add another point to this as well, right? We have this here where even Tinder tests out new height filter to help people connect more intentionally, but they don't add a weight filter. They don't add if you're a mother type filter or not, or what have you. They don't add this, but they add a weight filter, right? That's what they do. And then we have this here where just 6% of the new S&P jobs went to white applicants in the wake of George Floyd. So again, that being said, even the white men that would need to get money during the George Floyd, only 6% of them even got jobs. So again, this is not a men's fault. This is a women's fault, and women's advocating for this, by the way, for all this stupid stuff because they're majority vote Democrat. So again, what else can we do here? The only thing that we can do here is blame women, and Tommy Lauren is at the top of the food chain for this reason why. Hi, Tommy Lauren. You're a feminist. Bye-bye. All right, guys. That's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.